Have you ever explained yourself so carefully, so politely, so many times, that you walked away feeling empty? Nothing went wrong. No one argued. No one was rude. And yet, something inside you felt smaller. It is a story about energy, about how quietly we give it away sentence by sentence trying to be understood, and about the moment you realize that silence is not avoidance. Silence is clarity. Silence is self-respect. This is the story of the day he stopped explaining himself. Once upon a time, there lived a man named Noah. Noah was thoughtful and calm. He believed that misunderstandings came from lack of clarity. Deep inside, Noah carried one belief. If he explained himself clearly enough, people would understand him and accept his choices. Explaining felt like kindness to Noah. It felt like maturity. It felt like keeping peace. Silence, on the other hand, felt risky, like distance, like being misunderstood forever. So Noah learned to explain everything. Whenever someone questioned him, Noah explained to avoid tension. Whenever someone doubted him, he explained to protect the relationship. But slowly, explaining stopped feeling light. Each explanation took a little energy away. One evening, Noah sat at a table with a familiar person he met often. Not stranger, not authority figure, just person whose opinions felt close. Rhea is a person who believed life was about moving fast, and success followed one clear path. The conversation was relaxed. They talked about life, progress, and direction. Rhea looked at Noah and asked, "So what are you actually doing these days?" Noah smiled and explained. Rhea listened and said, "I still don't really get it. Doesn't that feel risky?" Noah explained again, more carefully this time, trying to make her thinking clearer. Rhea leaned back and said, "If it were me, I'd push harder." She was not rude. She didn't raise her voice. But Noah felt something tighten inside his chest. Still, he explained. He explained his values, his long-term thinking, his reasons. The reactions didn't change. Rhea looked unconvinced but nodded politely. Rhea said lightly, "Let's just agree to disagree." That was the moment. Nothing dramatic happened, but something inside Noah became clear. She was not confused. She was not curious. She was measuring his life against her own ideas of how life should be lived, and no explanation could change that. Later that night, Noah walked alone. The street was quiet. The air felt still. He replayed the conversation. One thought appeared clearly. Why do I feel exhausted after explaining myself so calmly? That night, Noah walked home slowly. The city felt quieter than usual. His thoughts were loud. He kept replaying the conversation. Every word he had spoken, every effort he had made, and then he saw something unusual. On a quiet street corner, a small stall stood under a dim light. An old man sat behind it. In front of him were mirrors, not ordinary mirrors. Some stretched reflections, strangely. Some shrank faces. Some twisted shapes. until they looked unfamiliar. Noah stopped. Out of curiosity, he looked into one mirror. His face looked narrow and tired. He moved to another mirror. Now his face looked wide and distorted. He frowned. "This doesn't look like me," Noah said. The mirror seller smiled gently. He said, "None of them are lying." Noah looked confused. The seller continued, "Each mirror shows a version, but not the truth." Noah picked up another mirror. Again, his reflection looked wrong. "That one is broken," Noah said. The old man shook his head slowly. "It's not broken," he said. "It's shaped that way." Then the seller said something that stayed with Noah forever. "People are like mirrors. They don't reflect who you are. They reflect who they are." Noah felt a quiet shock inside. The seller added softly, "You can stand in front of them all day. You can explain your face. You can explain your shape. But the mirror will never change." Noah stood still. For the first time, everything made sense. That night, Noah finally understood. He was not misunderstood. He was being interpreted through other people's beliefs and timelines. Silence suddenly felt different. Not cold, not distant, protective. The next time Noah sat at that table, the moment returned. Rhea asked, "Still going at your own pace?" The old habit rose. Explain, clarify, reassure. But Noah paused and said simply, "Yes, this works for me. Nothing more." The silence felt unfamiliar, but the conversation moved on, and Noah felt light. From that day on, Noah changed. He explained when there was curiosity. He spoke when there was respect. But when there was judgment, he chose silence. Not angry silence, not proud silence, clear silence. And slowly, his energy returned. Days later, Noah passed the mirror stall again. He glanced at the mirrors and kept walking. For the first time, he did not need anyone's reflection to know who he was. This story is not asking you to stop communicating. It is reminding you to communicate wisely. You explain when there is respect. You speak when there is curiosity. But you choose silence when your words are only being weighed, not heard. Noah didn't stop explaining because he became distant. He stopped explaining because he became clear. And this is the quiet truth. Sometimes, the moment you stop explaining yourself is the moment your life becomes lighter. At Solvora Tales, we believe stories are not meant to entertain the mind alone. They are meant to calm the heart and guide the soul. Until our next story, walk gently. Protect your peace